want to stay involved, there are things you can do. First, get in touch with your RD. Leadership programs at Improv Camp and Improv University. If you can't do it next year and maybe the year after, there's also a program called Next Act to look into, which is for young adults, I think up to 25. And remember that if you just want to be involved, but you really have no desire to necessarily be on the stage or be the performer, make the performance isn't the big part. There's so many rules that still keep you involved and really cater to your own strengths as a person. And then if you want to do something, just pull it out there. Who else wants to? That's the first step. And there's lots of frustrating and wonderful steps after that, but if that want and desire is there, and there's an audience who wants it, you'll figure it out.
What would you suggest myself or anyone in the region could do in their own regions to strengthen and improve the improv community as a whole, and as well to work on expanding the audience past a small, loyal cast of CIG graduates?
Most cities have like professional companies in Canada that you can get involved with or take classes with or something, do shows with.
Go see everyone's show. Go watch improv. You can only learn from what you're watching. And keep those conversations going with other performers, other companies.
Networking, but it's more than that. It's showing the actual interest. It's not using these people to gain something, but it's using these people to gain friends, but then also what they can bring to the table.
From a producing standpoint, I'd say try and find ways to combine them for a night and then add variety, such as including music or stand-up comedy or a poet or something from somewhere else that draws from an audience that might not have seen improv yet.
People who make other people look good on stage, no matter what that person is. And my improv man crush is a guy in Chicago named TJ Jagodowski. And he has a documentary you can watch, or a scene you can watch. It's called Trust Us, This Is All Made Up. You can get it on iTunes. Their group is called TJ and Dave. And I was fortunate enough to do a night with him once. And I was so terrified that I couldn't speak. And he made it look like a choice. He made it look like I'm meant to be terrified and speechless. And I killed. And it was all him just making me look like an absolute genius. And that is really hard to do.
I grew up watching SNL with my family, and Picnic Face was from Halifax, and I'm from Halifax. And I was like, oh, this is a thing that is actually doable. And then once I kind of realized it is attainable, I started looking around, and I came to Nationals and saw Justin, and I was like, I thought he was super funny, and I went to Sackville, and I went to every single show that year, which is 2 shows a week a lot. I tried to help out as much as I could, and I remember just being like, I want to improvise with Flint so bad, and I took courses with him and stuff. So yeah, mine's Justin mostly, I guess.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
For me, what I find really inspires me comedically is television shows like Arrested Development, The Simpsons, The Office. Just watching that and being like, why is this so funny? Like, what are they doing that makes this so entertaining? And dissecting shows like that.
My co-RD, Jay Reed, is also a big inspiration for me too. So things like where you can have someone that has your back and have someone that's there for you, and when you have your teams that are there, like these best friends, these are inspirations. They don't have to be famous people that are on TV or in web series or anything like that. It has to be someone that moves you and pushes you to be the best you can be.
I'm just wondering, are you guys still like in contact with your old teammates?
Yes, every day. More so than anything, I love them to death. Yes, yeah.
The level of joy and understanding and the ability to pick up where we left off 3 years ago without going through that same vague catch-up you have with someone you haven't seen for a long time will never go away. And it wasn't just one team. I was over 3 years, had very different teams. So there's 25 people across the country right now that I can, if I'm in their city, A, have a couch to sleep on, B, someone I can talk with or not, depending on our day, and we just get each other in the same way we did when we were 14. We do now, and it's really cool. It's really cool. You don't get that with a lot of people.
Don't try to recreate that it's only capable of being produced at this time with kids your age, with your skill sets. There's just something, there's been a cosmic meeting of things that make all of this work. So you've got to find new things.
Remember that it takes a while to get that sense of community, right? Like you have to put an insane amount of effort into it. That now that it's so easy to it seems easy to forget the work that you put in to front load that.
I also think learning different forms can be really frustrating because, you know, you master the CIG and then you go somewhere and they're like, we only play short form games where the focus is totally you only do long form pieces, nothing shorter than 20 minutes. And it's like, I'm terrible at this, but it's, you haven't used those muscles in those ways, and don't get discouraged because it will come.
And know that you might never have this same feeling with an ensemble as you do now elsewhere. That doesn't mean you shouldn't keep doing it. Outside of improv, not CIG specifically, the word team has, I find, often a less deep meaning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have your family, Chris has been saying it all week, your family that's your improv team. You can still find that support in that family when you volunteer and within your region. But the definition of team to people who are not improvisers is very different.
I wouldn't understand life.
Without it, I wouldn't have had the, I guess, courage to follow what I wanted to do in life.
I would not be a person I like as much as the person I am today.
Without improv, my family would still just be my best friends. And yeah, I don't know. Everyone's closer now, I guess. I know how to open myself up a little more. Like I said, the other forum, I used to be a stoic jerk.